Success does not belong to the smartest, it belongs to the most disciplined. There is a lie that has quietly stolen more dreams than failure ever could. A lie whispered in classrooms, repeated in conversations, and believed by millions, that success belongs to the smartest person in the room. But look closer at the world around you. Look beyond the polished speeches and curated headlines, and you will begin to see something unsettling, something powerful. The smartest do not always win. The most talented do not always rise. The most gifted do not always finish. Because success is not a test of intelligence. It is a war of endurance. And the battlefield, your mind, your habits, your ability to show up when everything inside you begs you to stop. You see, intelligence can open doors, but only discipline walks you through them, again and again and again, until the world has no choice but to recognize your presence. Think of the men history celebrates, not because they were the smartest, but because they refused to quit. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the light obeyed his vision. Not because he lacked intelligence, but because he refused to surrender to frustration. Henry Ford was told his ideas were impossible, yet he showed up day after day, shaping a future others couldn't yet see. Abraham Lincoln lost elections, faced defeat, carried the weight of rejection, but discipline forged a leader out of repeated failure. And what separated them from the millions who also dreamed? It wasn't genius. It was the ability to persist when nothing made sense, to act when motivation disappeared, to continue when results were invisible. Because discipline is not loud. It does not announce itself with excitement or applause. Discipline is quiet. It wakes up before the sun. It works when no one is watching. It repeats the same actions long after the initial inspiration has faded. And here is the truth most people avoid. You don't fail because you lack ability. You fail because you lack consistency. You start strong, but you don't continue. You feel inspired, but you don't commit. You dream vividly, but you don't execute daily. And success does not reward intensity. It rewards repetition. A single day of effort means nothing. A week of motivation changes little. But years of disciplined action reshape destiny itself. Understand this deeply. Your mind will betray you. It will tell you to rest when you should push. It will justify excuses when you should act. It will magnify fear and minimize your potential. Because the mind seeks comfort. But success demands discomfort. And that is where discipline is born. Not in moments of ease, but in moments of resistance. When your body is tired, but you move anyway. When your progress is slow, but you continue anyway. When doubt creeps in, but you silence it with action. This is the dividing line, not between smart and average, but between those who finish and those who fade away. Discipline is the great equalizer. It does not care where you started. It does not ask about your past. It does not measure your IQ. It only asks one question: will you show up today? Not when you feel ready, not when conditions are perfect, but today as you are with what you have. Because every day you hesitate, someone less talented is outworking you. Someone less gifted is building momentum. Someone with fewer advantages is becoming unstoppable. Not because they are smarter, but because they are more disciplined. And discipline compounds, just like money, just like habits, just like belief. Every small action builds upon the last. Every repetition strengthens your identity. Every moment of persistence rewires who you are becoming. Until one day, what once felt impossible becomes automatic. And that is when the shift happens. You no longer rely on motivation. You no longer wait for the right moment. You no longer negotiate with your excuses. You become a person of execution. A person who does what must be done, regardless of mood, fear, or uncertainty. And in that transformation, success is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you embody, because success is not an event. It is an identity, and identities are not built through ideas. They are built through disciplined action repeated over time. So ask yourself, honestly, Are you relying on how smart you are, or are you building the discipline required to win? Because the world is full of intelligent people who never became anything, not because they couldn't, but because they wouldn't stay consistent long enough. And then there are those who were doubted, overlooked, underestimated, but they showed up, relentlessly, unapologetically, daily, and they rose, not in a single moment of brilliance, but through thousands of moments of discipline. This is where your power lies. Not in what you know, but in what you do every single day. And the moment you understand this, truly understand it, you stop chasing shortcuts. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. And you begin building something far more dangerous than talent. You build discipline. And once you have that, there is no competition left.